Hi, my name is Nacho, welcome back to my channel. And the Marvels premiered this last weekend, and let me just say that I'm extremely happy for the cinema employees who got to clock out early this last few days. Box office numbers have started to come in, and those abysmal projections became true, with the movie staying on the low side, earning just 6.6 million on its opening night. Worse than The Flash, and not even making 50 millions domestically in the opening weekend, and barely breaking past 60 internationally. So overall, a 110 million box office return worldwide, which puts it on the track to be, and I quote, a box office disaster.
How terrible! That's just awful! How terrible! Oh no!
But we knew this. We've known this for a while. People were very vocal about it, about how bad an idea this was. So what is it that made Marvel ignore all that talk and still go through with this movie? Well, a recent article with Nia Dacosta might have the answer to it, where she said that when it comes to movies that focus on women and people of color being called woke, give me a fucking break, woman. Just admit that your movie sucks. When it comes to the response from the fandom this movie received, she tends to ignore the toxic criticism and focus more on the civilized critiques. It's true that since the inception of woke identity politics in most forms of entertainment, there has been a split in the fandom that I will touch on later, but Nia Dacosta admitting that she altogether ignores, I'm going to say half, of the fan responses to her film, it's a clear indication of why this movie was doomed to fail. But now that I've seen the film, on cam, I refuse to pay money to see this shit, plus I would hate to be the only one in the theater watching this, though the one thing I won't critique on this review is the CGI. Feel free to do that yourself if you ever see the film. But let's break down the movie. And yeah, spoilers. Not sure if you even care. So the movie pretty much revolves around some of the past deeds done by Carol that have now come to affect everyone, with Dark Ben searching vengeance for what happened to the Kree world, Hala. So no grandiose plans of deleting half the universe to make it better for the other half. Oh no, her motivations are born purely out of spite. Very womany of her. She plans to use the Nega quantum bracelets, similar to the ones Miss Marvel has, that give her powers to create ripples in space and time and steal air, water and the sun from the planets that Carol is friendly with. If you haven't clicked out of the video, good, because it gets much worse. So after creating the first ripple, Monica,
Say it slow.
and Carol touch it, cause wow, 3 lights, which starts the entanglement with her light-based powers. So every time they use it at the same time, they change places. This is not very consistent throughout the film, and there's several occasions where the switch just doesn't happen. However, some of the times when it does happen, especially at the start, it puts at least one of them in a potentially deadly situation. Like Monica getting dropped into a moon where she can somehow breathe despite needing a suit to be in space at the beginning, Kamala being dropped from a high altitude because she's the only one in the team who can't fly. This scene is also very bad because it highlights some of the atrocities done to the character of Nick Fury, but I will also get to that in a second. So after some figuring out and some training on how to master the switch, which involves of course rope skipping, pageant walk practice, juggling, and a trip down to Memory Lane. Fuck me, man, this is why we shouldn't let women direct and write superhero movies. Right, once they kind of have that figured out, they realize that the next step on Dark Ben's plan is stealing water from a planet where Carol just happens to be the princess of. Welcome to Planet, the musical, where people only speak in song, unless the plot needs them not to, where the most excruciating and cringe-inducing section of this movie lives, where everyone is dancing all the time and some dude opera sings the introduction of Queen Danvers, all kill no fill, am I right, Dacosta? Which also includes a sparkling Disney dress-up moment for Carol and a suit-up for all the girls, and another forgettable fight scene with Benny, where she figures out that Kamala has the other bracelet, and in order for her not to get it, they leave everyone behind to get sucked off into outer space, all the while Captain Marvel was wiping the floor with all the Kree, as she normally does. For the last part of the film, we're back on Earth, where Dark Ben plans to steal the sun. I'm sorry, I'm back. Because when Carol destroyed the AI that was controlling the Kree, that somehow led to a civil war, and apparently that pretty much destroyed their atmosphere, created a drought, and somehow slowed down their sun. Stay with me? Meaning that that planet was due to die anyways, whether or not Carol ever got involved. Nothing that goes on a planet can in any way, shape or form affect the sun. It's just the end cycle of that particular star. Tough fucking shit. Time to move homes, buddy. So she steals the atmosphere of a planet, which if you pump air into a planet that has no atmosphere, there is no reason for it to stay there. Stupid fucking plan. She then steals the water and dumps it randomly over a city, not even in the middle of where the ocean should be as shown in the movie. You just killed a bunch of your own people, dumbass. Finally, she tries to take the sun from Earth and ship it to Hala. Now, I'm no astrophysicist, so I'm just spitballing here. But if she has no control over those portals, she could drop that sun anywhere. Drop it too close and you burn the planet to the ground as well as everyone in it. Drop it too far and there's not enough radiation to sustain life. You're back to square one. Drop it too close to your actual sun that is still active and you might trigger a supernova or a black hole. Absorb it slowly like is shown in the movie and you just might lose all that radiation in the vacuum of space. But you don't seem to know how to properly direct the portals. I might have missed it from the comics, or Nia Dacosta might be a genius. But this, alongside a lot of other shit, seems to not make any fucking sense in this movie. So the final battle against Benny happens, where they just luckily find her by herself in her own ship, and after she's defeated, they come to a stalemate, where Carol promises to revive the Kree sun in return for a ceasefire, because she can totally do that now. Girl Ben uses that distraction to trap Kamala, get her bangle, and still complete her plan, because she's angry at Carol. She puts on the second bangle and the power surge makes her implode. Just poof! She's gone, and the bangles just float back to the girls.
You should have got Asuka.
So now there's a terror in space and Monica needs to close that from the inside, because the next movie needs to have her trapped in another universe. She gets charged up for like 2 seconds by Carol and Kamala and turns white. And she closes the portal. Everyone's sad. The end.
But wait! There's more!
Kamala goes to Kate Bishop and copies the recruitment scene from Iron Man that was so much cooler, where Nick Fury tells Tony that he's putting together a team.
Nick Fury, Director of S.H.I.E.L.D. I'm here to talk to you about the Avenger Initiative.
The only difference is now the team is full of teenage girls and some boys, because that's totally gonna resonate with the fans. Fuck yeah, Kevin. And makes it so much less cooler, and also adds a pretty please at the end, because that's totally gonna resonate with the fans. Fuck yeah, Kevin. Fuck yes. The second after credit scene that you might have seen on Twitter before it got copyrighted is Monica waking up in a different universe with CGI Hank McCoy looking like shit. Another proof that the old X-Men practical effects were far more superior. Fuck, we were too harsh in those movies. That's when passion was still involved in the making of this. CGI McCoy tells Monica that she traveled through space and time, and Maria Rambeau is also there, because she's that universe Captain Marvel, and we see her binary outfit looking like an old disco party suit, who doesn't know who Monica is or why she keeps calling her mum. Now the scene could have ended there, and it would have been fine. But we had to add a "oh shit" coming from Monica.
Oh shit.
Before we fade to black, because this is Marvel now. And we are wacky and silly. So that was The Marvels, luckily a short film. I do not want to imagine what was left in those 10 to 20 minutes they cut out. And yeah, it's not a movie made for me. I don't know who this movie is made for. I hate what they did to Nick Fury, relegating him to a basic comic relief. Sam Jackson looks horrible. He looks fat and he looks sad. And they make him wear the tightest shirt that exacerbates his beer gut. Why? How is this the same Nick Fury? And the scene that did it for me was when Carol was explaining the switch for the first time. He puts up her palm like this, and out of the blue he goes, "Scissors, speed, paper." What? What the fuck's going on? It's good to have some jokes here and there to relieve some of the pressure, but that's fucking stupid. That's kindergarten humor. The kindergarten kids don't have something you desperately need: money to buy tickets. This movie needs to make 7 times the revenue to not be considered an absolute disaster, and it's already falling 33% in ticket sales. So it went from having no one in the theaters to having 2/3 of that. They could give away the tickets and people won't even light a fire with them. Renting the Las Vegas Sphere cost $450,000 for a day. That money this movie will never get back. The break-even point is probably far beyond any obtainable number, even by a more popular movie. The Rotten Tomato reviews are fine. Oh, those are great, as long as you don't filter the top critics. And everyone on Twitter is using that as a gotcha. This movie is great, suck it haters. Apologize to Nia Dacosta. This movie is fun, it's wacky, it's perfectly paced. Brie is fantastic. Kamala frothing over Captain Marvel. Oh, give me more. Monica.
Say it slow.
Is amazing. Black girl magic in all caps.
Black girl magic!
It's almost like they need the gratification for this movie to be good, to justify the smoking of that copium that an all-female led, directed and written movie is as good as the rest, even if it isn't. And not because anything special, not because of the story, just because of that little fact. No, they need to prove the other half wrong. It's not about the franchise success, it's about being right. That we don't need the men, that everyone who hates on this movie is a sexist, racist Islamophobe, and it's their fault it's tanking.
Whatever helps you sleep at night.
Well, the people who buy the tickets and fill the theaters seem to think otherwise. And if it's not that, it's the strikes that hindered this movie's success. Because a world press tour with all the cast would have made things better. If Rachel Zegler has taught us anything, it's that the strikes have nothing to do with the downfall of movies. And they call her Brie 2.0. This movie was supposed to come out last year. They had plenty of time to promote it. But when people maintained their disinterest, that's when Marvel became desperate, and they made a cat ASMR stream and put Goose in the goddamn Las Vegas sphere. Can't wait for Kamala's Young Avengers Assembly, where you're gonna have to wait, because there's no more money for that. Almost all of Disney projects got delayed a year, with only Deadpool 3 coming out in 2024. If this movie achieved anything, it's putting Disney, Marvel and the money people in check. We cannot keep making these films because we are bleeding money. And what sucks the most about all of this is that the long focus on the message, representation, diversity, and pretty much putting a chick in it and making her lame and gay. Oh yeah, Valkyrie makes an appearance in this as well, in her man suit, and apparently she's tapping some of that Captain Marvel's ass, or lack thereof. It's that all of that has created a huge division between people who love Marvel. I want to see the cool stories that were created by passionate individuals back in the day, before the woke crowd came in and fucked it for everyone. The manga industry appreciates them though, and the people who blindly follow their ideologies just because it justifies some of their values. Why is the Miss Marvel show one of the lowest viewed TV shows on Disney+? Is it because people are Islamophobes and men hate strong women? Or is it because it's a poorly written story that is not popular in the comics either, created by a woman who self-inserted herself into it and targets teenage girls who are not the majority of the Marvel fandom? One group will say it's one thing, and the other group will say it's the other one. One of the groups is very passionate about Marvel and loves the stories. The other one is not. They just want a reason to argue with people. They also don't buy movie tickets. As long as that division exists, which will probably never go away, it's gonna be really hard for Marvel to get back on their feet. Less so now that the industry is shifting from making comics and books to video game adaptations. And last time I checked, Disney doesn't have the rights to any of those IPs.
Scared of the fucking video games.
I'm not.
No? But you should be.
So the Marvels proved to be everything people thought it would be. A movie made by and for people who don't understand the fandom and spent way too much money in making a movie people were not going to watch. A record-breaking low for the MCU that's more than likely going to change their focus now, if they want to keep their doors open. But if you watched this far into the video, thank you. I know it's been a big one. Let me know in the comments down below which is the character that you would like to see on the screen that you know they'll never make. Onslaught? And as always, I've been Nacho. Hope you enjoyed the video, and I'll see you in the next one. Take care.